Welcome to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you for your continued support to this channel. The impeachment of the Deputy President, Rigathi Gachagua, I don't know whether to call him the former Deputy President, Rigathi Gachagua, is going to go down with very many people. Like a large tree that has been hosting several animals and birds. When that tree falls or when it's fallen, all the birds and the animals that were hosted there must suffer. And during this moment, Rigiji will know his friends and his enemies. In the words of the former president of USA, during such moments is when you know who are with you or who are your enemies. When Rigathi Gachagua was taken ill moments before when he was expected for cross-examination, several leaders went to see him. And when it was confirmed that the impeachment motion had been passed by the Senate, leaders who love Rigathi Gachagua could not help but to break down in tears. The Githunguri member of parliament, Gathoni Mushomba, cried very profusely, but the one that could not even hold it a little longer was the former Bahati member of parliament in Nakuru, that is Kimani Ngunjiri. It's not very easy to find a man breaking in tears except when someone dies, but Kimani Ngunjiri really cried because they felt that their man was being unfairly mistreated. But one politician shocked many when he came to the defense of Rigathi Gachagua. Not only that, but he took that moment to warn William Samoei Ruto, this man here.
I don't want you to refer to the Constitution. I want you to refer to your heart. Have you become this heartless, Mr. President? Have you become this heartless to a sense that your deputy president is sick, but you're still fighting him down? Mr. President, we helped you, we fought for you to become president. We never knew that you'll become this man who does not care about his friends. You had the opportunity to even talk to the Senate, because they have up to Saturday. But you decided to fight a sick person. You decided you'll be the last person who will kill the aspirations of our deputy president. We want to tell you, we leave you to God. We are here. The family is here crying. As friends, we are here empathizing with the deputy president. But you are not being moved. The person who was stripped off his cloth before his family to make you president is now here at Karen Hospital, sick, but you're still fighting him down. What kind of a human being are you, Mr. President? What heart are you made of, Mr. President? We are very disheartened. We are very disappointed in you. But we want to tell you, we will leave you to God. You have all the powers right now. You have everything that is within your powers to ensure that you bring down a truthful man. But you cannot control God. We have a lot of confidence in our judiciary. We will have our day in court, and we believe that we are going to emerge victorious. We want to ask our supporters to remain hopeful that this is not a fight for the faint-hearted. We are here to ensure that we win this fight. We will win against this impunity, and we want to ensure our supporters that the deputy president will be back on his feet, and he will be back in high spirit, And I want to assure Kenyans that Rigathi Gachagua will be deputy president up to 2027. Watch this space.
You know, it shocked me that Malala has the guts to warn William Samoei Ruto, and he was telling him, you are heartless. The reason why I was taken aback and I was wondering is I've always thought that it is William Ruto who brought Malala to the UDA and made him the very powerful Secretary General before he was ousted. Why do I think so? I remember in 2022, when there were rumors that Cleopas Malala was hosting William Ruto and that William Ruto was giving him money, he kept on denying this until when the Azimio decided to go for a rally in Buhungu. And that is the time when it was to be known who was with the Azimio and who are not. And Malala hosted William Ruto in Mumias in some tournament there. And from there, the flight took off, and it is said that it is Malala who was used to lure Mudavadi to come to, UDA, or rather to form Kenya Kwanza. And then it was also William Ruto who brought Malala and gave him that very prestigious position. But where did the rain start beating Malala? Because I believe from where Malala is, he's regretting because he's part of the team that is going to go down with Rigathi Gachagua. If you remember, Malala suffered the very, very fate that Rigathi has suffered. I don't know what happened, but he became part of the team that was launched to attack other leaders. Malala attacked Musalia Mudavadi when he was being used to lure Mudavadi to come to fold his party, the Amani National Congress, to come to the UDA. He was also used to disrespect Moses Wetangula when he was trying to coerce them to fold Kenya to come to the UDA, because William Ruto had crafted a plan to have one party. I told you, for those who watched my penultimate video, that William Ruto's project, one of the very agenda that he had, was to ensure that he killed opposition. He wanted one party. So with that, Malala had fallen out with his very senior leaders from the Western. But if there is one man whom history has shown that when you face him head on, you must fall politically, is one Raila Odinga. And I want you to watch Malala facing Raila head on, and this could be one of the reasons why Malala is falling, because William Ruto knows very well that Mudavadi and Wetangula cannot help him. Raila cannot help him because he disrespected him, or rather, he faced him head on. Kindly take a look at what Malala was saying.
Sisi tumechoka na huyo mtu wa kitandawili. Ukweli ama uongo? Kama nyinyi wanaume wanne mutarudi tena kwa huyo mtu, hata sisi tutawaacha kwa mataa. Niseme nisiseme? Niongee? Nitoboe nisitoboe? Sisi tumechoka na mambo ya Raila. Kama ni nyinyi mtasimama kura, sisi tutawapatia kura. Lakini mkikuja hapa, mtuambie sisi tupatie Raila, tutawaacha kwa mataa. Na unajua, mimi ile kitu nilikasirisha. Mimi jana nilikuwa naona runinga. Mimi nikaona tena mumealika Raila kwa mkutano yenyu. Hiyo maneno mtuambie ukweli bana. Kama mnatupanga mtuambie ukweli bana. Wewe unaita aje adui kwa mkutano yako? Nitoboe nisitoboe?
Senator Cleo Malala. Tua Eldoret oye. Nataka nikisema UDA mnasema kazi ni kazi. UDA kazi ni kazi. Mimi kwanza ni kushukuru Rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya na naibu wake kunipatia hii kazi ya kukuwa katibu mkuu wa chama cha UDA. Na mimi nimesema kazi yangu ya kwanza kama katibu mkuu ni kuhakikisha tumepata membership ya kutosha chama cha UDA na watu milioni 15. Nimeanza hiyo membership drive. Ningependa kuandikisha kutoka leo, ukuwe na kipande, kitambulisho, na uhakikishe pia, kwa sababu mimi kama katibu mkuu kazi yangu ni kuhakikisha wale watu wa chama wamefaidika kwa serikali hii. Tukija hapa kutafuta majeshi ndio, lakini ukiwa na kadi ya UDA hivi mimi naipitisha, unajua mambo ambayo tunafanya, si ndio? Mnaelewa mwelewi? Yetu ndio kitu ya maana sana. Na mimi nimesema ninaanza kesho, ninaanza kupeleka recruitment drive, na kaunti ya kwanza mimi naenda kuregister watu 5,000 ambao wako tayari kuingia UDA. Kesho asubuhi niko Kisumu town kuenda kupaka rangi ya yellow pale Kisumu town. Wale watu wa Kisumu watungoje kule. Mnanipatia baraka ama mnipatii? Sasa watu wa Kisumu mkuwe tayari. Secretary General anakuja Kisumu na anakuja na rangi ya yellow. Hakuna rangi nyingine itakuwa Kisumu kesho. Jambo la pili, nyinyi mumesikia.
Amid the expectation that Malala was going to support William Ruto in UDA, many were shocked that when the discussion about the impeachment motion around, or the impeachment motion about Rigathi Gachagua came up, he defended Rigathi Gachagua and blamed the very leaders who are very close to William Ruto for this impeachment motion.
But was a well-choreographed script intended to climax with the impeachment of the Deputy President, Rigathi Gachagua. My close and inevitable working relationship with the Deputy President, who is also the UDA Deputy Party Leader, asked them. And when their concerted effort, lobbying and coercion to set me against my Deputy Party Leader failed, I was effectively profiled and labeled as an obstacle towards their evil plots and conspiracy to have His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua impeached.
From the clips, it is easy to conclude that Malala had fallen out with Mudavadi and Wetangula, he had fallen out with Raila Odinga, and finally he fell out with the very, very boss who brought him to the UDA. At some point, Malala was under siege, and Mount Kenya had, maintained that Malala was an outsider, a Johnny come late, who could not hold the prestigious position of being a Secretary General, and they wanted that position to remain with Mount Kenya. At some point, they were even saying that it should be preserved. I remember when the UDA was about to go for grassroots elections. So what went wrong, ladies and gentlemen? That's what I want us to look at. What went wrong and what lessons should we learn? Kindly subscribe to our channel if you're watching us for the first time. I will always remind you to click the notification bell to allow YouTube to notify you whenever we release a video like this. Please give this video likes. It helps, promote our videos. You can also share our videos if you can. And I want to thank you once again for your support. Ladies and gentlemen, Malala must learn to go slow, and not only Malala, but I've learned from Rigathi Gachagua and Malala. They are the point of discussion or subject of discussion. They were attacking each and every leader around them. And I've learned that in politics, you need to go slow because you never know what comes tomorrow. Enemies of today become friends tomorrow, and friends of today become enemies tomorrow. You must learn to be a little bit passive. You cannot allow yourself to be used, like Rigathi was saying, it is William Ruto who sent him to attack Raila, to attack Uhuru. I mean, how could he? And Malala is going down with Rigathi, and they are suffering the same fate. In politics, you must study the political direction. Which direction is it taking? For example, Malala should have known that the deputy and his boss had fallen out, and so he had to know. He would have stuck by Ruto's side, but instead he decided to stick with Rigathi Gachagua. I'm talking, of political survival because it is Ruto who made him a Secretary General. He would have, stuck by him. Study and know the direction. Rigathi Gachagua keeps on saying that he studies, politics, and every politics is, local, and he says he wants to do that which the people want. Malala should have learned to, know the direction. Number three, you should know your boss. That is the reality. In politics, you must know who created you, especially in these appointments. If you are elected by the people, you listen to the people. But if you are in a position where you are just appointed, that your political fate, lies in someone's hands, then you need to know. I still believe that it is Ruto who appointed Malala, and therefore he needed to be respectful. You must know your boss. Number three, you must learn political history. For example, I have seen very many people who attack Raila going down. Do you hear the Nyanza rebels who used to go to State House and call Raila's name every now and then? They are no more because Raila and Ruto now control what happens. Ruto listens to Raila. So if the only politics that you knew was to this mere campaign about Raila this, Raila that, from morning to evening, then you automatically become extinct politically. And in history, those who have, faced Raila head on are no more. Why? Because at some point you feel that is your opponent. Then before you know it, your boss calls him for a handshake. It happened with Uhuru. And that's how Uhuru, the relationship between Uhuru and William Ruto widened that enmity because Uhuru had promised Ruto that Raila was not going to come into the government. Then, all of a sudden, he was in the government. All those who were insulting Raila could not help but to embrace him because he had been embraced by by their boss Uhuru Kenyatta. That is the same thing that has happened today. Those who used to insult Raila because they wanted to please William Ruto, Ruto and Raila have now shaken hands and they're working together. And so he forgot about the history of this country, that there are certain politicians, if you want to survive, then you don't need to go head on. Especially when we are still practicing politics of ethnicity. We have not become independent so that you can wake up and say that I will vote this person because of his policies. We still practice ethnic-based politics, something that we need to run away from. And so, ladies and gentlemen, the statements from Cleopas Malala only indicates that he is going down with Rigathi Gachagua. He's a drowning man and anajaribu kushika kile chochote kile atapata. I don't know what he will do to come back. If I would, advise Malala, he must go back to Mudavadi and Moses Wetangula because you realize that all those political class, Raila, Ruto, Wetangula, Mudavadi, they have formed a cocoon and they have ganged up. If he wants to sprout politically, let him go. Aombe msamaha pale. Or he sticks by the people if the people can decide to lift him up again. What do you think, ladies and gentlemen?